Good afternoon, everybody. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading on November 4, 2024, Monday afternoon. I hope everybody's doing well. Well, after I sent those photos around of the DirecTV dish to my list of 160 people, I'm still receiving messages back, and one person sent me a Q&A on Quora. So I'm going to read the question and then read the answer, and I hope that this helps you. I mean, it's certainly helped me. It's very interesting for sure, because a lot of us believe that technology is implanted in our homes, it's implanted in neighbors that are diagonally across and back of us, etc. We all know that the neighbors are all involved. We don't know exactly to what extent, but I'm sure that because they're such greedy, pathetic losers, they would have no problem installing or having somebody else install some device in their homes that would be pointed in our direction, sort of like that DirecTV satellite dish that was placed on the county road pointing towards my house on Halloween. I mean, if that isn't evidence, what is? So anyway, here's the question. My neighbor is attacking me with infrasonic weapon. How can I spot him? Or how can I build a similar one to be able to convince the police? Okay, so this is a twofold question. I'm going to read the response, and I please remember to hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel grow. This message is written by an individual with a master's in electrical engineering from Stanford University. It was updated October 12th. Okay, so they probably know a thing or two about electrical devices, right? Not the common, regular person. So my neighbor is attacking me with infrasonic weapons. How can I spot him? Or how can I build a similar one to be able to convince the police? So now this person responds, when I read the snide comments regarding your inquiry, I think that these people have no idea what they're talking about. I have also been harassed for years by my neighbors with some weapon that might be infrasonic or parametric sound, okay? And I'll describe my own. It happened this morning in the chicken coop. They like to use their technology to bang on the metal roofs of buildings while you're there. This is not a new development, but has been around for years, and in my experience since 1987, I believe it is sonic, but I have no way to prove it. All I know is that I experienced the following. 1. My body is vibrated when I sit in one place or lay down in bed. 2. My heart rate is elevated and I cannot sleep due to the disturbance to my heartbeat. 3. Sometimes my head is attacked and I will feel dizzy the next morning. My ears will be ringing all the next day. 4. I will sometimes feel my skin crawl or feel like something like a bug has bitten me, but there is no bug. 5. This attack is directional and comes from a specific neighbor through their walls and my home's walls. 6. There is no smoking gun, and so it's difficult to prove to any authorities. 7. It possibly is sonic. I have tried using fluorescent tubes to try to block the energy, but with no success. The idea is that sound cannot travel through a vacuum. But fluorescent tubes are not a true vacuum. 8. I have heard loud boom sounds at the walls and in the attic of the house for no obvious reason. I have the exact same thing. It's inside the cat's building. It's inside my house. I have the exact same thing. 9. I have heard music and audible messages when I'm laying in bed. 10. I have heard my glass windows rattle and make a cracking sound like they're going to break. I experienced that too here. I didn't experience that in New Jersey, but only here in Kentucky. 11. I have been jolted out of sleep due to a massive pulse to my core, which causes digestive fluid to rush up through my esophagus, which will burn for hours. So no, this is not an imagined issue, or some conventional woofer speaker, or some smartphone app, or other nonsense. This is a coordinated effort to use a powerful, highly directional, focused weapon to harass me and other members of my family. If anyone has also experienced this, please let me know what you think. While sitting at the kitchen table, I once witnessed this weapon cause a slight linear stream of bubbles to appear in a pitcher of water on my kitchen table. Almost like a bullet cutting through water without damaging the pitcher. I may be wrong, but I assume this is a warning shot by my neighbor to demonstrate the power and accuracy of this weapon. I have also seen small items toppled over on my shelves. So the weapon can be focused and pointed into my home to displace air after passing through walls and various materials like ceramic, steel, wood, and as I just mentioned, water. An update. He writes an update now. Now this is an update from October, but since then I will tell you how many upvotes he has and how many views his response had, okay? So the update was that there were over 370 upvotes. I see this is not a one-off thing. We're not all imagining this. Okay, so here we go. Currently, there are 396 upvotes and 41,600 views. Think about that for a minute. More than almost 42,000 people wanted to read the response to this question about my neighbor is attacking me with infrasonic weapons. How can I spot him? Or how can I build a similar one to be able to convince the police? Almost 42,000 people viewed this response. Okay? So now there are several people that responded, and I'm going to respond also because I have had it shattered. I hear my windows shattering. I hear loud booms and bangs on the metal roof of my cat's building and my chicken coops. They like to do it mostly when I'm nearby, but I'll hear it on the cameras. It's all recorded. And just for the record, I did. You know, people are always saying, well, why don't you get them analyzed and use your audacity, blah, 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 blah. You have no idea how incredibly busy I'm here. I'm one person. I've got all these animals to care for. I've got to walk back and forth. I'm being targeted. I'm trying to sell my house. Vandalism through the kazoo, okay? So, I have had my audios analyzed. And there is speaking underneath the loud booms and all of that. And yes, they are discussing me. And yes, there is a name of one individual that popped up, and his name is Ethan. Well, I don't know any Ethans other than my next door neighbors. You know, the one with the black ski mask that tore down my gate, and then his wife with the blonde hair, the big mouth that likes to write notes everywhere. She's likely the one that wrote all that stuff on the DirecTV. She just likes to write. You know, she's got to write notes everywhere. She's got to write notes to my witness and threaten him. She's got to write notes and post no trespassing signs on my property. She likes to write. So, yeah, it's very possible that Ethan, the name Ethan, that surfaced on one of my audios, is their adult son. I don't know any other Ethans. Just happens to be their adult son, who, after I announced this on my channel last year, just magically upped and moved his entire family away. I saw them traveling down the county road. Didn't come back. I wonder why. Yeah, anyway, just for the record. So these are some of the responses. Yes, and more. He says, I believe that it's a sonic weapon and that they change the waves to cause different pains and levels of pain. They never leave me alone, he says. I was followed across the USA. It never stops. Another person writes, yes, I completely relate to what you're saying regarding frequency and amplitude. Actually, it's probably more sophisticated, involving multiple frequencies. And as far as it following you, I believe it is not one individual, but rather an organization of some sort. I've moved numerous times and the harassment has followed me as well. I realize this sounds outlandish, but it seems to be a pattern. And I'm going to tell you that when I was moving from Manalapan, New Jersey to here, when I was in our RV and we slept overnight, had all of our cats with us, and it was raining, like torrential rain, so we had to pull over on the way over here, and we slept on the side. And I'll tell you that that was the first night that I slept in the bed in the back of that RV. I noticed for the first time that I had no tinnitus. It disappeared. I guess they have to set up wherever it is that you're going. They're not going to have those waves or whatever following you every which way. So there was a moment that it totally stopped. And I've mentioned this before, that when I moved here and was living in my car for 6 weeks, all of my hair grew back. My eyesight reverted back to its normal 20/20 vision. My skin looked beautiful. I weighed 100 pounds. I lost a few pounds because it was really hot here and I was so busy. But I felt perfectly healthy. My sleep habits were perfect. I was waking up at like 6:30 in the morning, going to bed by around midnight, my usual thing. Getting up, feeling fine, working. But I did notice that within a couple of weeks of my being here, I was getting, I would say that they appear to be bug bites or bruises all over my face. I have one right now. I photographed it yesterday. Maybe I'll post it. They've been hitting me by my pineal glands here, right, my third eye. So right now, I've got a scab there. I don't get blemishes anymore. I'm in my 60s. I haven't gotten blemishes in years. But yeah, so over the last 2 days, I've got a burn mark that has now scabbed over on my pineal gland there. So let's see what else people are saying here. He says, I have a stalker who's doing this to me. It's unbelievable what he's put me through, and I can prove it. And then one person says, I am hopeless. I'm planning on moving from this place because of this. And then another person says, I believe you. Me too. I don't know what to do. So this is happening all over the place. And then one person writes, Jesus Christ, I have been followed multiple times as well. I had to move back in with my parents. And it's still happening here almost every night. It makes it impossible to stay asleep, even on prescription medication. Oh, please, Guy, don't take some meds. And then another person writes, I'm being followed with the sound as well. And one person says, by a sensate, Sensate. It helps. I don't know what that is, so if anybody knows, please leave a comment down below. And now somebody responds, did you ever make someone angry? Someone who has morals or compassion? That person will follow you somehow. I think in my case, it has followed my phone. My phone gets hot. It loses power. It buzzes out of nowhere. I know who's doing this, but I can't prove it. He is bombarding my body with searing and deep pain in my joints and organs as well. Let's see. Another person writes, everything you say is 100% true. It happens to me in every detail you just spoke about. Damn, man. I thought I was going crazy. It's real people. God bless you, bro. Stay strong. He said, I put the details out there so I could see if others are experiencing this. I know the waves are coming from which neighbor. He knows which neighbor it's coming from. Just by feeling the vibrations in my body, you can feel them enter a particular part of your body as you try to rest in bed. Note, he says, I believe that the weapon is extremely powerful and dangerous. But I believe the harassing parties Don't use those levels, opting for a more subtle, less obvious frequency amplitude. Another person writes, let's see. It's usually next door, and it's usually the person is jealous of something. Okay? It's as real as it gets. I've been targeted for 8 years now. In Los Angeles, it's the helicopter division harassing people with their LRADs, dudes, and ultrasonic weapons. It's usually the police force where you live. Yes, I know they took an oath to protect our rights and serve us, but they're being hired by corporations. Corporations hire police. Confidential informants, snitches, and narcs. They front the dirty work, like following you and shooting you up all day long. I've heard of gang stalkers. Well, those are the confidential informants. You know, like my sorry-ass neighbors. You know, like the Scarlet and Mary and John and, you know, all that little groups of perverts that drive back and forth all day, screaming out of their windows and stuff. Yeah, those are the confidential informants. You know what they do? And I have proof now. Somebody told me it's true. Somebody who's lived here a long time told me it's true. They all run back to the county lawyer, Ross Murray. And you know, like our local sheriff's department, they can't piss without telling, having it approved by the county lawyer, I'm sure. They can't file an incident report without going to the county lawyer. Now, I called the attorney general and I said, well, I have a question. This was last year. I have a question. I said, in rank, does the county lawyer usurp the sheriff's department? Oh, they said, oh, no. The sheriff's department is on top of the county lawyer, the county prosecutor. I said, well, why is the county lawyer making decisions for the sheriff's department? Of course, they couldn't answer that question for me. It's wrong. Shouldn't. So yeah, so the confidential informants, like where you live, those are the little rat snitches that follow you around, photograph you, harass you and stuff. They're going back and getting their little gift cards and their payments. They're doing their rat snitching for someone who is a higher level where you live. Could be a county lawyer, could be the sheriff's department, it could be a cop, it could be a detective, it could be a fusion center operative. Here, everybody rat snitches back to the lawyer. And I have proof also when that guy Chris, who I hired to dig out my gate across the street, and he kept it, and then he texted me and says that he can't give it back without me filing a civil suit because the law told him that. The law is not the sheriff's department. The sheriff's department did not tell him he can't give my gate back. Ross Murray, the county lawyer, threatened him to not give my gate back because that's what he does. He likes to intimidate people. But rumor has it from people that know him from when he's younger that he had issues with people when he was younger, and he just brought them into adulthood with him and harasses people. So he had to be turned into a lawyer so that he could do that. So if anybody's listening out there, sheriff's department, you should not take any BS from that lawyer. You make your decisions for yourself. You don't listen to that creepo. He's under you. You hear me? Under you. He reports to you. You do not report to him. If the little rat snitches want to report to him, that's their problem. Okay? But yeah, so here you go. We've got it right here. The question is, Q&A, my neighbor is attacking with infrasonic weapons. How can I spot him? Or how can I build a similar one to be able to... I mean, this is ridiculous. How do I build a similar one to be able to convince the police? That's a ridiculous question. Okay, you don't want to build a similar one. Okay, you want to find where the direction is coming from, and that is by analyzing the sound in your audio cameras and stuff. Okay, so he said, do not read all the snide remarks here. It's all BS. He gave multiple examples of things that happened to him. And I can tell you for a fact that I have recorded and I hear loud bangs to the metal roof here in Kentucky. Did not hear it in New Jersey because I didn't have metal roof in New Jersey. And in addition, in New Jersey, I had a big attic that was insulated. So if they were hitting my roof, I had those asphalt, what do you call those tiles? I forget what they're called. I had a different roof. It wasn't a metal roof, and I had a fully insulated attic. So if they were hitting my roof in New Jersey, I did not know it. But here, I've got metal roofs, and it reverberates. You can hear it. It's sort of like when it rains here. You really hear the rain because it's ping, pang, you know, on the metal roof. So anyway, please remember to hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel grow, get the message out there. I look forward to your comments down below. Do you hear these loud bangs and booms and knocks? You know, in your cameras, in your audio? Do you hear it in your home, in your apartment? I look forward to your comments. And also, for anybody that missed the live stream, it is posted. It's 2 hours long. It was on Saturday night, usually approximately 10 p.m. until midnight. I'm going to sign off for now. I hope everybody's doing well.